Anytime you're ready.
Hi, my name's Lauren and I'm 24 years old. I grew up here in London, Ontario, and right now I'm living in Vancouver, BC. I recently graduated from the University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario, and now work as a mechanical engineer at the airport in Vancouver. And next year I'm getting married because I got engaged a few months ago. So I want to tell you a bit about what my life is like with cystic fibrosis. So I was diagnosed when I was 9 months old. So basically the routines that I've had are something that I've known my whole life. I know my parents still sit with me and they still don't understand how this can be my normal life because I spend hours a day doing treatments and taking medications. But that hasn't stopped me from living a normal life. 50 years ago, the life expectancy for people with cystic fibrosis was about 4 years old. But as you can guess now, with me being 24, that isn't the case anymore. At this point, the median age of survival for people with cystic fibrosis is almost 50 years old. So that's amazing. Since I was diagnosed, there's been so many breakthroughs and new medications coming up. And I've been able to take advantage of these to really make my life as normal as possible, even living with this disease. So I can tell you a little bit about what I do for my day-to-day treatments and experiences. Usually I have to get up pretty early in the morning because I do have treatments that I have to do before I go out to work at the airport, on vacation. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, I have to do them every day. This is something that my parents really instilled in me when I was young, that if I'm going to keep this up and keep on going, then I have to get up and do my treatments. So I get up, I do some nebulized medication, so I'm sitting there and inhaling it. It's a good chance to catch up on Facebook or watch TV. And then I have to do my chest physiotherapy. It's called positive expiratory pressure that I do. So I'm breathing into a machine, and I've developed a pretty good method of counting and making little check marks in my notebook. I look kind of crazy if I'm out traveling and at the airport doing this, but gets the job done. And then I also take a nice cocktail of pills and that sort of thing. Every time that I eat anything, I actually have to take digestive enzymes. Without those, I wouldn't digest any food. It would go right through me. So one of the things that I really struggle with is gaining weight. Since graduating from university, I've actually managed to gain 20 pounds, which is incredible and something that I've never been able to do before in my life. This has allowed me to keep up being athletic. In high school, I swam a lot. I was a synchronized swimmer actually for a number of years. Since then, I've really gotten into hiking, still keeping up the swimming, biking. My dad and I even went out today and were able to do a good long bike, even in the hot weather. And then once I've gone out and done my activities for the day, I have to come back home and do my treatments all over again. So typically in the morning, I'm spending an hour and a half doing treatments, and then before I can even think about going to bed at the end of the day, I'm back there doing another 45 minutes to an hour every single day. It's something that I've always had to think about. Being a university student at the time, if I was going out with friends, I had to figure out how I was going to fit that in. But when I get home, it's more nebulized medications, keeping the digestive enzymes on me so I'm ready to eat whenever it comes up. And then outside of my daily treatments, I do attend my CF clinic every 3 months, pretty much, and there I get a sinus clean out because I do have a lot of sinus issues, so it really gets plugged up and lots of infections and things like that. So they clean everything out there. They check out my lungs, x-rays, blood work, the whole thing. The part that I don't like most about that is that I have to usually miss work or school. So I would definitely rather be there, but I know it's important that I go to these appointments to keep up with everything. Last year, there was talk about getting put on the transplant list, actually. Everybody was kind of worried. My numbers, they haven't been that high lately, but I'm still really high functioning. So that was a bit of a reality check when they wanted to do that. I went through with the process, lots of additional tests, having to miss work a little bit every now and then to get these done. But I went to see the transplant doctor a few months ago, and he looked at me and said, from all of your files, I would guess that you'd be a lot sicker, but I don't want to see you again for 6 months. So clearly, all of these new treatments and things are really working and doing some good. Hopefully I can stay off that list as long as possible. But so far things are looking pretty good. As long as I keep up with my treatments, keep up with the exercise, then I should be able to continue this way for a long time.
Can you show us some of what you do?
Yeah.
Or what you need to do?
So I have an air compressor here that I hook up to the nebulizers. So I plug those in, put the medication in the top. I do one that's a hypertonic saline, so it's really, really high concentration salt water, kind of like breathing an ocean. So I'll do that one first. And then I go on to pulmozyme, which breaks down the mucus that is in your lungs with cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is caused by a defect with the salt and water exchange, so the mucus is really thick and it causes infections. So I do the pulmozyme to help break that up and get it up and out of my lungs. And then the PEP, it's upstairs, but the PEP therapy, I'm breathing into it and watching a little gauge. So it goes up and down as I'm breathing in, and I have to do that 15 times 8 each time I'm doing it, so in the morning and at night. And then after that, I'm doing some sinus rinses, and I am traveling actually from Vancouver. So traveling is another interesting experience for sure, because I've got just piles and piles of medication in here. Vitamins, because I don't absorb nutrients as well. Antibiotics, so that I can fight off any infections before they really get started. There tends to be an asthma component or allergy component with cystic fibrosis, so I'm taking things to manage that. Keeping an eye on blood sugars, because diabetes can be another kind of side effect of cystic fibrosis, just because the pancreas isn't working properly. So there's lots of things that I'm keeping tabs on every day with my medications and my health. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what I go through every day, as well as every couple months with all of the clinic appointments. So I guess I just really want to say that it's great that we've been able to come so far with all of the treatments and ways that we can deal with cystic fibrosis, but there isn't a cure yet. That's not something that's out there, and we're getting close. There's new medications on the market that can hopefully keep people like me off of that transplant list and thriving as long as possible. New things coming down the pipeline all the time, but we're still not there yet. So I plan to keep fighting at it, and I know there's lots of other people that do. And I would love to be at the rally that you're all at this time, but unfortunately I've had to go back to Vancouver, but I know that my dad will be there supporting everything and probably bringing along some of his many, many friends. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, and definitely I can chat a bit more about anything if anybody wants to contact me later on as well to see more about what it's like.
Thank you.
Hope you